Hello, welcome to Southern Cooking. I'm Nora King, and we're here today, and we're going to bake some scrumptious pecan pies, and so we're glad that you're with us. And Carly Byram has joined us today, and she's going to be helping us, so we're glad that you're here, Carly.
It's going to be fun.
Yes,
I'm excited.
It really is. And then I'm going to be talking about some Thanksgiving tips to help people with their celebration meal.
That'll be great.
You know, because if you can prep ahead of time, it helps so much. I've, working and doing the things I do, I've had to learn these things, the tips that I'm going to share today, to be able to make it happen without it being so much pressure and hectic.
That's huge, especially people with kids.
Yes,
It's just
that's
a
for
whole
sure.
thing, yeah.
Yes, yes.
That'll be great.
Right. And what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Well, I kind of love them all.
Yeah, me too.
Being honest with you, I eat it all. I would probably say dressing. I just love good homemade dressing. It's
Yes,
just
nothing
so good.
like that.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, dressing would be one of my favorites. And then I fix a layered salad that I really love. And I only do this at Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, so I really enjoy that. And you layer those vegetables for the salad, it's so good.
So good. Thanksgiving's probably one of my favorite holidays just because of all the eating.
Yeah, me too.
We all love to eat it up.
I think other people think the same thing
I think
too.
they do. Hey, tell us in the comment. We love hearing from people.
Yes.
The last video, we heard from so many people, and so we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? You might battle off about it because everybody has an opinion, but tell us what you love in the comments.
Yes. As we start here today, I want to read a scripture. First Chronicles 16:34, it says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever." And as Christians, we're to give thanks to the Lord for the good things that he's done. And I understand that we're maybe having challenges in our life right now, but there's always something that you can be thankful for. And so that's important. And, I always like to talk about that before Thanksgiving with the family and everything, and be thankful to God for his many blessings that he's given us.
I feel like this year, particularly with all the craziness, everyone's just so excited to have a holiday, where you have the comforts and the normalcy, and to give thanks. I mean, that we're all here and that we're all safe, and I think that's great.
It is wonderful. It really is. Well, today we're going to do pecan pies, as I said at the beginning. And so we've got everything laid out here. I've got my recipe card. You can't see this, but this recipe card for pecan pies is so well used. Look at all the...
It is. I love recipe cards like that,
Yeah,
though.
it's got ingredients from the past on there.
I love that.
But I know that we're going to be showing the amounts
We'll
that
put
the
it in the
people can
description.
see.
So if you want to follow along, follow the video, but in the description is all the ingredients and everything you need to know.
Right. And so really, I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, we're going to use 3 eggs. We got our eggs here. We use 1 cup of white sugar. I do use a little bit reduced amount of sugar because I just like my pies better. I do all pies that way, reduce the sugar down a little bit. But it calls for 1 cup. And then we've got 1/4 cup, which is a half a stick of melted butter. And then we've got 1 cup of chopped pecans that we use in it, and then of course a teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to add this ingredients in here, and we're going to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my eggs in, and I'm making double. So this is doubling that recipe. I'm going to make 2 pies. And so what you have to do is you have to mix these eggs and with a mixer, and they need to be foamy. You just keep mixing until you get a real foamy egg. So I'm going to go here for just a minute and make sure. Now this is key. You don't want to do this and not, use the mixer enough on it to get the foaminess. Okay? And then after I do this, I'm just about to the point where I can add some other ingredients in it. I think that is enough there, so it is foamy in the bowl. Now I'm going to add my sugar, and again, this is double pies that I'm making here. And then I'm going to add the syrup in. Now, the syrup, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it because, Carly, this is what makes my pies a little bit different.
This is the secret.
Because, you know, you can use light syrup, you can use dark syrup.
Gotcha.
Well, I use in between.
Okay.
Actually, it's pancake syrup.
Really?
Yes,
Interesting.
it is. And so, you know, we're just going to add that in. But I can tell you, it does make a difference in the taste of the pecan pies. And I know everybody that eats mine, usually family,
Yeah.
they know that it's a little bit different. And so we're going to put that in there. And then we've got our melted butter. And you want to make sure that your butter is cooled. You don't want to put hot
Okay,
butter
so
in on those eggs. I'm going to use my spatula there to get the rest of that out. Everything's better with butter, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I will say this, you know, some people use margarine, but I don't. I use butter. I just like the real thing.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
I do. So I'm going to add the pecans last, but now I've got the vanilla, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And so, again, I'm making double pies, so I put 2 of them in there. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix that a little bit before I put those pecans in there.
Yeah.
This already looks yummy.
It does.
Look
With all
at
that butter and sugar. Can't go wrong,
Makes
really.
everything better, doesn't it? So we're mixing that up really good. And we've already got our eggs, and they're all the right way, you know, with being foamy.
I can't wait to taste this pie.
I think
I
it's
am
going to
very
be good.
excited.
And now, we'll cut this off, and I'm going to add my pecans. Again, that's double. That's 2 cups of pecans. And I'm just going to turn it on low to get those pecans mixed really well in there.
It's looking great.
Isn't it? And you may have a pecan pie recipe, and you may love it, but I think that you'll love this one too. So I've got it mixed up really well here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the filling in the pie crust. And let me say just a little bit before I do that on the pie crust. The pie crust are Marie Callender.
Okay.
And the reason I use it, and they're deep dish, the reason I use it is because it's almost like homemade pastry. And so I don't just go into the store and get any pie crust. I look for this one, and actually I try to keep them in the freezer around the holidays, you know, so that I have them. So that's my little tip and what I found that really works. Now, some people do their own pie pastry, and I think that's wonderful. But typically, you know, I don't like to take shortcuts that make a huge difference, you know, just to be quick. But for me, this is so much like homemade pastry.
Yeah, I was going to say, with Thanksgiving, you're usually making a lot of other things. So that would be a huge time saver.
Now, you want to make sure that you put the same amount in each pie so that you have it
That looks great.
good and filled. And I think we've got it there, don't you?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. So now they're ready to be placed in the oven, I think.
Get away.
We'll set this over here. And so we're placing these in the oven, and we preheated our oven to 350, and they bake for 1 hour.
Perfect.
And so now I'll tell you a little tip here. Your oven may be different, and so you may have to set your timer maybe a few minutes before, because I have had ovens in other homes where they get hotter.
Okay.
And so you may need to
check
but
it.
as a typical thing, 1 hour at 350. And so while those pies are baking, I want to talk about something here, Carly, that I think will really help people. And that is just some tips, again, for Thanksgiving, as I mentioned earlier. And so I want to share, your holiday meal, you can get so pressured and so just flustered that you don't enjoy the time with your family and your friends that come in to join you for your Thanksgiving celebration. And so I try to do things that will help me not get into that position, So I want to share these with you today. What I do is I make my menu out in advance.
Okay.
And I will go to the grocery early, really. I don't wait to the week of. Now, some things you have to for the freshness of your vegetables and some things like that. But I try to have, my cranberry sauce. I try to, have different things that I know that I'm going to need that I can buy ahead of time. And so I make that menu out, then I'll go to the store. I will get those things, and I may have to make that last run to the store to get my fresh things a little bit later. But after I make it, then I determine, okay, who's coming to the meal, and then I just get everyone to bring a dish when they come, each family to bring a dish. And so that helps considerably because there's some things, like the mashed potatoes, the green beans or whatever, you want those maybe to fix those yourself, but the other items they can bring.
And that's nice for everybody to get to contribute and be a part of the
I
meal.
think so, and I think it helps so much. Now, I plan ahead in that menu and things I'm going to make, such as if I'm going to make a casserole, certain desserts, if you're going to make a fruit dessert or a jello dessert, things that you can make the day ahead. I'll go ahead and do those, and I'll put them in the fridge.
That's great as well. Another time saver.
Yeah, and it's ready, so it's wonderful. But some things you don't want to make in advance, such as the mashed potatoes. That's the day of kind of thing. I wouldn't reheat that, and other vegetables maybe too. So that's really, I think, key to getting ready for your Thanksgiving meal. And then also, I want to talk about the table. Now, I set my table early. Thanksgiving is on a Thursday. Monday, I may set my table up and have everything out and ready to go, my table settings and all that. And I will just say this, I try to make Thanksgiving very special. And so I'll use a tablecloth. I use cloth napkins and maybe, my nice napkin rings that maybe fit, the Thanksgiving season and that kind of thing. And I get all of that ready. And then I'll even go ahead and put my centerpiece on the table. Now, I'm more of a minimalist. I like things simple. I don't, maybe go all out and do what some people do. But that's fine too. If you like that, do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. But I make it more simple, and I go ahead and do that. I will put some like the battery-powered lights on the table, to make it very festive, and beautiful, just beautiful. And so I have that ready for the week, the week of and early on, so that everything's ready in that day. And then that day, what I'll do early on, if my meal is going to be at 2 or whatever it is, that morning, I'll set my salt and pepper shakers out on the table. I do as much ahead of time. I'll go ahead and make the iced tea. You have to have iced tea for Thanksgiving, And and just have everything as much ahead of time as I can get.
That's really nice, because whether you're hosting like a lot of people or even just, your kids, I mean, the normal people you have there, I feel like that's a great way to still make it special. You're not stressed, you're not running around. You might be able to even sit down with for a minute, watch the parade, or just make it special. I think that's great. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Well, I hope that those things help you and that you can maybe be able to use some of those tips and make your day
definitely.
A little easier for you. But I do as much as I can ahead of time And so I think right now we're going to pull those pies out, and we're going to cut the pie. First of all, yes.
Finished pie.
Look at that.
It's
and
beautiful.
I've got a toothpick. I'm going to stick that in there, and it comes out clean. So it's ready.
That is beautiful.
Yes, it's ready. And so we're going to cut them now. We have our pie cutter. And I hope it comes out good for the camera.
It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this definitely looks like a professionally made pie, in my opinion.
Well, I've made enough of them, that is for sure, over the years.
You've got experience. But everybody can do this. I mean, that was so simple.
Yes,
it really was.
It
so
really
simple.
isn't difficult. I tell you, in my pie recipe, it's the ingredients I use. Okay, so here we go. Why don't you taste test that, Carly?
Well, okay. What a rough job. It's so pretty. Oh, yeah, it's good.
Good stuff.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good. You have to stop me. Over here. Yeah, that's great.
All right,
I love
let's
the
cut
texture.
another piece here. We're going to cut another one.
I mean, I can't have it all to myself.
No, you can't have that one. All right, here, I
beautiful.
just want to show you the pie, piece of pie there. And it is easy, it is simple to make. Just follow those instructions that we've given.
That was so easy.
And try the ingredients that we told you if your pie recipe is a little bit different.
Yeah, switch it up a little bit this year.
Yeah. So as we come to the end here, I just want to say this. I want your family to enjoy the blessings and the favor of the Lord on this Thanksgiving. God bless you, and we love you.